So I woke up this morning with a song going around my head. It's a Frankie Goes to Hollywood song. And do you remember it? It's like, when the chips are down, I'll be around with my undying, death-defying love for you. I mean, what a great lyric. Anyway, I just thought that that's inspired me this morning because, I think that these days that kind of being around for people when the chips are down is really, really needed. So sticking around when the chips are down, not when they're just shiny, successful or impressive, or they've got you a job, but when things are just a bit rubbish, because I think that's the moment that really, really counts. We talk about a lot about integrity in industry, and but integrity, I think, how does it show up? How does it show up for other people? So I mean, I think anybody can be present with somebody else when life is going well, maybe for themselves, but also for the other person. So it's a lot easier maybe to be around. But I think it takes something else to stay when somebody's confidence has taken a knock, when work has dried up, when they're doubting themselves, when things haven't gone to plan, or maybe they've made a terrible mistake, So there's a line from David Augsburger, I hope I'm saying that right, that I come back to often, which is being heard is so close to being loved that for the average person, they are indistinguishable. Now, we don't talk a lot about love in the workplace, but I think it's like, you can probably substitute that for valued. But being heard is so close to being loved or valued that for most people that they are indistinguishable. And I think it's true. So what does it mean? It doesn't mean, it's not being fixed. It's not being saying, oh yeah, I've got the solution to your problem. It's not being advised and it's not being told, everything happens for a reason, or don't worry about it, it'll be fine. It's just being properly heard. That takes a lot of presence. And there's something quietly powerful, I think, about being with somebody who gets it. I run a lot of group coaching courses where we look at a topic, but the power often comes from those breakouts, those moments where you are talking with somebody who gets it. It's somebody who's been through a version of what you're going through, somebody who doesn't kind of panic at your wobble or think that, they shouldn't get anywhere near you. And I think, the phrase misery loves company often gets a bad rap because it's not about wallowing together. It's about not feeling alone in the hard bit. So I think it's really about someone saying without drama or judgment, yes, this part is hard. I recognize it. You're not broken. It's something that has to be worked through. So I think, that kind of presence does something really important. It steadies people, it helps them remember who they are. It makes the next step, even if it's tiny, possible. So I just wanted to share, a small sort of some ideas for work and life. If you want to be there, when the chips are down, maybe not quite with undying, death-defying love for you, but a version of that, right? If somebody's struggling, don't rush them to optimism. Don't rush them to optimism. Sometimes it's just like being there to help them work through it or to unpack it. If you don't know what to say, you may not agree, with their viewpoint, etc., but horrific things are happening around the world, right? If you don't know what to say, just listening is usually enough. Listening without judgment. Nobody has all the answers, right? And if you've been through something similar, then your understanding is a gift. They don't feel so alone. And I think, if things aren't great for you right now, then, seek people who can sit with that honestly. So I think being there when things aren't great It's not weakness. It's one of the most underrated forms of strength, you know, and it's often the reason that people find their feet again. So sometimes I think the most powerful thing that you can offer is not advice, but simply your presence. All right, so let me know what you think about that. I hope that's helpful. Take care. See you next week.